My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told. It was 1868, and me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez, Mexico. One night after my brothers retired for the evening, I found a little poker game in a cantina with a couple of cowboys. And I just couldn't lose. I even won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well, I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before we crossed the border, those cowboys caught up with us. It was Johnny Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim. They wanted their money back and everything else we had, including our lives, as those boys didn't want us coming for them later. Bob put that old Spanish coin in my mouth and said, "I won't have it said that I left you with nothing, boy." Well, those horses bolted, and there we hung as those bastards rode away. The branch finally snapped under the weight of the three of us, but being my older brothers were bigger and heavier, they were already dead. And right then I swore to myself that I would avenge them. Ringo you know about. But Bob eluded me, until I heard he was riding with the Wild Bunch.
Damit hallo und herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Folge Call of Juarez Gunslinger. Ja, unser Motiv für all das, was wir tun, scheint also die Rache zu sein. Unsere beiden Brüder wurden ermordet.
I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains. Led by Butch Cassidy, they were a loose association of outlaws who robbed banks and trains from Colorado to Montana. Among them was the Sundance Kid, and that murderous hombre I was tracking, Roscoe Bob Bryant.
Were you a part of that giant Pinkerton posse after the Wild Bunch?
No, boy. A circus like that would have slowed me down. Besides, I wanted Bryant all to myself. I'd heard about a large shipment of gold being transported to Wilcox, Wyoming on the Overland Flyer. I figured the Wild Bunch would likely hit such a treasure, and by God, I figured right. They blew the bridge with the intention of forcing the train to stop.
Tja, hier gab's wohl ein nettes Feuerwerk.
In the still intact part of the train high above. I was determined to make that sumbitch Bob pay for what he did to my brothers.
So, hier hinten war ein Secret drin. Hier muss man sich extrem beeilen, weil der Zug gleich abschmiert. Hier rüber, genau. Der macht auch einen Abgang. Und wenn er drüben drin war, ist er auch abgeschmiert. So, jetzt gehen wir erstmal hier hoch. Also das muss ein ordentliches Feuerwehr gewesen sein, dass hier die Brücke zaubern hat. Also ganz ehrlich, sowas wünsche ich keinem. So, genug TNT dabei. Oh, wir haben einen neuen Skillpoint zu verteilen. Den haben wir bei den Trappern rein. Möchte ich kaufen. Legendäre Waffe, freigeschaltet. Super Schrotflinte. Mal schauen, wie die hier unten haben. Eine Schrotflinte. Nein, ein abgesägtes Quer. Das. Na, vielleicht finden wir da oben ja noch eine Schrotflinte, die wir mal ausprobieren können.
What'd you say? I can't hear a goddamn thing. Well, I made my way off unscathed. That silence grieves. I came upon a few members of the gang and had no choice but to dispatch them. From there, I had to negotiate an even more precarious route. But first, I would need to get my ass out of there.
So, ganz easy geregelt. Nochmal der TNT, weiß zwar nicht wofür, aber okay. Dann geht's weiter. Jump! Geh rauf! Nein, nein, nein! Schwein gehabt. Also ja, auf kurze Entfernung kann man die Schnellschüsse echt nur empfehlen. Also auf kurze Entfernung sind die richtig geil. Schon aufgrund der immensen Feuerrate.
Outside, inside,
Und
anywhere I could, I made my way
vorwärts.
towards my prey.
Well, what about the passengers?
Zur Seite.
It was mostly a freight train, as I recall. There were no passengers aboard that day.
Gibt's hier irgendwo mal eine Shotgun?
You can't hide from me.
Und auf. Tja. Du Lappen.
Gonna scalp you. You won't get away with this.
So. Hier nicht. Da.
As I mentioned before, I am not
Schon wieder
fond
diese
of
roten
heights,
Flaggen.
but
Ja.
I was too busy dodging
Schals oder was
bullets
auch
to
immer.
worry about falling to my death. Odds were I was likely to
ja.
die that day anyway.
Hm.
So I was determined to take down as many of those bastards as I could.
Did that asshole just kill Red?
Das war jetzt schlecht
Hide
geschossen.
forever.
Mal hier hinter. Wo bist du? Da. So. Was ist das? Oh, die sieht jetzt richtig geil aus. Ich würde sagen, die mag. Ah, gleich mit. Hier rüber? Ja.
At times it was like shooting ducks in a shooting gallery. The only difference is these damn ducks shot back.
Dieses Schießen von Enten ist auch gut. Da war wohl ein bisschen sehr viel TNT drin. Naja. Unser Problem soll es nicht sein. Da war übrigens auch ein Secret drin, soweit ich mich erinnere. Und rauf.
I kept hoping the law would show up and give me a
You
hand.
mean like that giant Pinkerton posse that I read about? Did they come riding in, guns a-blazing to help?
Ui.
Help? From the Pinkertons? No,
Nein.
son. I had to fight the wild bunch all by my lonesome, as usual.
Ja, wie immer.
Who the hell is that?
Was kann man auch anders denken? Wir müssen ja immer allein kämpfen.
Take cover!
Ja, die Geschichtsbücher lügen halt immer wieder, gell? So ist das.
Okay, now you're really pissing me off. He's killing everybody.
Da hat er doch noch eine Kugel kassiert. Naja.
You ain't seen the likes of me. Is that Silas Green?
Happy Birthday. Was? Nur einer? Beschiss?
Now you're real.
So.
Gonna clutch you. Did that asshole just kill?
Was? Er lebt ja auch noch. Aufbrechen. Oh Gott.
My guess is those dime novels didn't portray this as it happened, did they? Only a few stragglers were left. I had to cut them down pronto if I was going to stay on old Bob's trail.
Gotta stop standing next to dynamite. Merciful Christ! No amount of gold is worth this!
I'm gonna blow your
Run
damn head
if you
off.
want to live!
Hell,
This ain't right!
gonna cut you in two. Now you're dead.
That's just...
Haben wir gleich wieder ein Level up.
For a bellyful.
Ja, jetzt haben wir schon rote. Eine rote Kombo-Anzeige.
Once I silenced all
Ja,
those guns,
eine schöne
I went searching for my
Gatling-Gun.
nemesis, determined to finally have my justice. But the only survivor who welcomed me was George Flat-Nose Curry.
Who was he?
Flachnase Curry.
Fastest gun in the gang,
So,
right after
Geschwindigkeit,
Sundance,
Fokus.
maybe. And Kid Curry, and maybe Elsie Lay.
So, beim ersten Mal verscheiße ich es vermutlich wieder, so wie das jetzt schon hier anfängt. Mit Sicherheit.
On that very same day,
Oh
Butch
ja,
Cassidy and the
geschafft.
Sundance Kid decided to leave the Wild Bunch behind and decamped for South America. They ended up living down there for many years, but I'm sure you already know all about that.
Alle Secrets. Und wir haben es gleich beim ersten Mal geschafft, dieses Duell zu gewinnen. Das ist auch mal was komplett Neues hier. Also dann vielen Dank fürs Zusehen und bis zu der nächsten Folge von Call of Juarez Gunslinger. Bis bald.